Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the Life Coaching with Namita show. Today is 12th October, 8:05 p.m. We got a little late. And our show today is in English. I've done 79 shows in Hindi for the Life Coaching with Namita every Wednesday slot. And today I want to do this show in English for my English viewers because we get a lot of requests from our English viewers, English speaking audience and a lot of them don't understand Hindi at all. A lot of my own friends don't understand Hindi and have never been able to watch the show. So we've just this show we're trying to do it in English so that we can reach that audience and we can also please them and also serve them. सो मैं जो मेरे हिंदी भाषी दर्शक हैं उनसे मैं आज के लिए क्षमा चाहती हूँ. या आज का जो हमारा शो है वो इंग्लिश में है और क्योंकि हमारे बहुत सारे अंग्रेजी भाषी लोग हैं जो हिंदी बिल्कुल नहीं जानते हैं और उन्होंने बहुत बार रिक्वेस्ट करी है, हर शो के लिए रिक्वेस्ट करी है कि आपको ये सारे शोज अभी अंग्रेजी में करने चाहिए. तो थोड़ा उनको भी उनकी भी सेवा में आज हम शो ये इंग्लिश में करेंगे. सो वेलकम एवरीवन. टुडे वी आर गोना टॉक अबाउट हाउ डू यू डील विद योर इनसिक्योरिटीज. एंड इवन इफ आई एम डूइंग द शो इन इंग्लिश, द शो फॉर्मेट रिमेन्स द सेम, द कंटेंट प्रेजेंटेशन स्टाइल रिमेन्स द सेम, एंड आई रिमेन द सेम. And here we are, see a lot of people here. Shobhit, Ritu, Doge Smile, Radha Krishna, Biswajit, Sharmistha, Arjit, Radha Krishna again, Suranjit, Vignesh Crystals, Pratima, Savanal, Shivani Agarwal, Peter Bloch, Meena Mendirata, and so many more people. Prakash, Pankaj, Bikash, Saha, many more new comments coming in. Deepa Sharma, all the way from Edmonton. Welcome. And Neha Srivastava, Sharmishta Sahu. Got a few more people here. Ariund is saying hi. Rohit, Kamlesh Kumar Das, Sangeeta Rai, Vinny, and so many more people. And so wonderful to be here with all of you. And today we're going to talk about how can we deal with our insecurities. Insecurities can present themselves, when we're not feeling confident, when we're feeling fearful, and they can present themselves in any moment in our life and in any aspect of our life, whether it's emotional, relational, whether it's in our workplace, whether it's around our wealth, whether it's around our management, whether it's around dealing with people, whether it's around, even for leaders, like really top leaders, they can also they can also have their moments of insecurity. And insecurity can be really debilitating for us. It can really block us from our growth. And the only way to deal with insecurities is to deal with them. So today we're going to learn how to literally smash our insecurities. And that is our code word for today. We're going to learn the 5 steps to deal with our insecurities and to smash them. And that's our code word, smash. So without further delay, I request the tech team to start the slide presentation so that we can start. And someone's asking, what is the topic on? Topic is on smashing your insecurities. And those who've joined late, you can always look at the title of the YouTube or the Facebook or wherever you're joining from. The details are always there in the description. So I believe we're on, like, what can you do as you're dealing with insecurities, and what can you do to smash your insecurities? And this is why you feel insecure, and smash your insecurities today. I try to put the picture of one of the characters from the Mahabharata whom I find the most insecure, and Dhritarashtra. Is such an important person in the Mahabharata that even the Bhagavad Gita, our greatest scripture, starts with Dhritarashtra Uvacha. He is the one who speaks the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita. And what he speaks in the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita, that's his mood. If you read the epic Mahabharata, that's his mood throughout the Mahabharata. He's in that same insecurity, same anxiety about what are Pandu's sons doing? What are my sons doing? Are my sons winning or not? Am I going to get the kingdom or not? Is my son Duryodhan going to be the king or not? Are my sons beating the Pandavas in whatever games? Are my sons better than the Pandavas? Will I get this? Will I get that? And imagine, he's the king of Hastinapur and he's still so insecure. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. So Dhritarashtra, according to me, is one of the most insecure characters of the Mahabharata. And what he speaks in the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsava Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kima Kurvat Sanjaya. And that whole insecurity is coming from Mamaka, my sons, and Pandu's sons. What are they doing? And he knows this is a dharma kshetra, this is a holy place, and those who follow dharma, those who do their duties properly in a way pleasing to God, are going to be victorious. So he knows the outcome, but he's still waiting for that one ray of hope that, something will happen and my sons will win. And insecure people like him make for terrible leaders, because they make the entire team, so much destruction, because he was so insecure and he had his own weaknesses and he wanted to live vicariously through Duryodhana. He allowed his entire all his sons to get killed in the battlefield, and so much destruction and so many bad emotions, so many widows, so many children without fathers because of the huge battle of Mahabharat. But this is all because one man's insecurity. And the insecurity as a leader can lead to destruction of your teams and destructions of your subordinates. And even if you're not a leader, insecurity just for yourself is very debilitating and it destroys you. So, what can you do about it? What is something that you can do about your insecurities? And let me know in the chat what are some of the things that make you insecure, because this is mostly, we're interactive here. I like to read the comments here. I like to interact. I like to ask questions. I like to make you do some work as we are doing the program together. And as we are, this is a show where you get coached live, right? This is not a lecture. Use this as an opportunity to get coached live. If you want, you can come with your books so that you can start answering some of the questions that I have for you. And let's go to the next slide now. So here we are. Am I safe? One of the root causes of insecurities is that when we're not feeling safe, we start feeling insecure. And another cause of insecurity, in my humble opinion, is, am I safe? And am I acceptable? Am I being accepted where I am? These are the two things that lead to all the insecurities that we have. And this safety, this need for safety, is a very natural need that we have. But a lot of times, even after we have some of our basic needs met, we're still, a little scared about, do I have this or do I have not? But when your basic needs are not met, it's very natural to feel insecure, because it's very scary for that soul and the body to know that if the needs of the body are not met, it can be very crazy making, very fear-inducing for the soul. And Srila Prabhupada often quotes this verse from the Hitopadesha. We used to study the Hitopadesha in our school also. And this is the 25th verse from the Hitopadesha. And it says, Ahara nidra bhai maithunani samanyametat pashubhir naranam jnanam naranam adhiko vishesho jnane nahina pashubhi samana. Right? So he's saying that, as human beings, we are also looking for the security for the same things, which is, do I have food, do I have shelter, do I have a good relationship, with my partner, am I accepted in that relationship, and am I safe, am I physically safe here? So food, shelter, relationship with your partners and family members, and also, am I just physically safe? And that's what we're constantly thinking, and that's what we're constantly trying to take care of. Some of us, we don't have those difficulties, but some of us have either one of those difficulties. And some of us, even if all of this is solved for us, we're still insecure and still feeling difficult. And this is, as Prabhupada says here, where is the food? Where is the shelter? Where is sex? Where is defense? And to eat something, to sleep somewhere, and to have some enjoyment and some defense force, I may feel that I'm secure when these are things that met. And therefore, I feel secure when there's a good government, there is a good police arrangement, and then the needs start getting bigger and broader and bigger. So we start with, am I safe? And when anything that's threatening our safety, we start feeling unsafe and we get very insecure. Now, some people are able to deal with that insecurity, and a lot of people are not able to deal with that insecurity. And here, as we move to the next slide, I've just made some categories based on these two things that I talked about. Am I safe, and am I measuring up? Am I acceptable? Am I measuring up? And a lot of the am I safe is, from your physicals and a lot of the external things that we need, your physicals, like your own health, your physical need for shelter, your possessions, and things like that that make you feel safe and sound. That I have my things, my nobody's stealing my purse, nothing's happening. I can walk very safely here, and so that's how So that question is resolved. And another root cause of insecurity is: am I measuring up? Am I acceptable according to the world standards? Am I acceptable according to my kula, my family standards, my jati standards? Am I acceptable according to my community standards? Am I acceptable in my school? Am I the best girl or the best boy? Am I acceptable at work? Am I the top performing employee or not? And is my body acceptable? And sometimes people are really thin, very beautiful, but they still have body image issues, because they're trying to push themselves to a certain unachievable level of how they should look like, right? And they kind of fall into that trap. They fall for that, and they feel insecure about their body. They feel insecure when they're not socially accepted, when somebody doesn't give them that smile, or when somebody does not acknowledge their presence, or somebody does not introduce them to their friends at a party. Some of us feel insecure in our relationships, and we're like, oh, does my do my family members like me? Does my partner like me? Is my partner happy with me? Will my partner be with me? What can I do? How can I? And like, there's constant insecurity around that, and we keep trying to make it up. We keep trying to make it up, and we get exhausted. And also, it's also very tiring to be around an insecure person, because they're constantly looking for validation. They're constantly stressed, and it's just so hard, because no matter what you do, that's a lesson I learned early in life, is if you're with an insecure person, and no matter what you do to make them feel insecure, it's very hard, because they have to feel insecure from within. They have to learn how to make themselves and feel them, protect themselves and take care of themselves, so that they can feel secure in themselves. And also, we worry about the future. What will happen in the future? Will I have this job? Will I have this? Will I have that? Will my health be okay? What about inflation? Oh my god, I'm not earning enough. What are the government changes? Or, what happens here? And what if my car breaks down? Like constantly like future thinking, and that causes a lot of insecurity. So let me know, how many of you feel these things? Some of you may not like the word insecurity, so you could think about it as fears that we have deep down, and then we act on them on a subconscious level, and we don't realize what we're doing. So let me know in the chat what's happening. Yeah, so insecure when you get a feeling of not being included. Someone's feeling bad, like, okay, we had COVID, and then we had the Ukraine Russian war, and I don't know where the economy is going and what's happening. Nidhi saying insecurity brings fear, fear brings insecurity. Staying away from my parents is probably helping me. And Prerna Krishna said she will share her life's experience with respect to insecurities. Thank you for sharing that. Overthinking, yes, that's another thing that happens. Overthinking is causing insecurity. Some of them like, oh, if I lose my parents, what will happen to me? Financial dependence, finances can create a lot of insecurity, because you need finances to be even to able to take care of yourself, your family, and even pursue your acts of dharma. So artha is important, yes. So many different reasons that people have, and do feel insecure. And so what are we going to do? What are some of the techniques you take to, yeah. So Arjita is saying fear of getting compared. So am I measuring up? Am I being accepted? Am I being compared? Am I winning that comparison? Am I the top guy? Or if I'm not, oh my god, what's happening to me, right? So insecurity of financial stability, a lot of financial insecurities also. Yes, so these are some of the challenges we face, and these are some of the things that we act on, and almost on a robot. Now, when you don't deal with these insecurities, when they're not dealt properly, they will create pain in your life. And and the point is, you either live with the pain of the insecurities, or you live with the pain of not dealing with the insecurities, because the insecurities are not going to help you rise and shine. They're not going to help you grow and glow, and you will remain in that fearful emotional state, and you'll stagnate in your life, and that's going to be even worse. And it just gets harder and harder to fight that. Some examples of how they create pain in your life is, if we're insecure in ourselves, we're not solid about our appearance, or we're not solid about the value, our own value. Some of us may choose bad relationships, and some of us may have lack of boundaries in our life. Like I know this. one really very intelligent lady, very high achiever at Microsoft, and I'm talking about 2005, when I was in Seattle and I just started working there. Uh, Very bright lady and also very focused on her spirituality. She was an inspiration to me. The way she would be able to express her thoughts, her focus on her work, her focus on her spirituality, her focus on serving everyone. And she was a single lady. And I got friends, lucky to be friends with her and lucky to receive her mentorship in so many different things. And I learned so many things from her. But there was this one insecurity that she had, was that she was single. And uh, and then she was started looking for marriage, and then she found this first person. And then her entire thought process was, will this person like me? Will he say yes to me? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know this, I don't know that, right? So even if you're doing very well in your career, you're doing very well spiritually, you look good, you have a good body image, but you're still insecure inside whether you're going to have, whether you'll be accepted by this person or not. So it's not that achievement in certain areas is going to help you overcome your insecurities magically. No, at every level we need to deal with stuff. And then she did marry somebody who was not well suited for her. And some people don't have proper boundaries also in relationships because of their insecurities. They're like, oh, if I set a boundary, this person will leave me. And if this person leaves me, what will happen to me? I'll be alone. And just so that we don't, because we don't want to be alone, we don't want to deal with our loneliness, we do make a lot of bad decisions in our life. People who are insecure, they obsess over their many, many small mistakes. Uh, that it's they, like, if they make a mistake, like say you're in a conversation, you're at a party, and you forget the host's children's name, which is not coming to you at that time, and you say, where is Aditi, instead of where is Dhriti. You kind of messed it up in your head. And when you see that, you're and the host is like, no, it's Dhriti, not Aditi. And it's okay, you made a mistake and you will try to be more attentive in the future. But an insecure person would probably like ruminate on that for the next 3 days. Oh my God, I look so bad. I don't know what the host was thinking about me. I look so horrible. I was so, my God, I couldn't even remember the host daughter's name. Something is wrong with me and I'm going to lose that business opportunity because I couldn't remember his daughter's name. And, so many such, and you just keep thinking and you keep overthinking all that small stuff instead of forgiving yourself and trying to learn from that and move on. Another thing is, insecure people cannot learn new things. It's very hard for them to learn new things. And many years ago, when I was building my team, uh, I had an assistant, and was very good person, like a golden human being, very trustworthy, and really meant well, and very good natured, and really loved to care for people. But somehow, that assistant would miss a lot of details in the work that needed to be done, and repeatedly. And whenever that was expressed to that assistant, the response would be, oh, yeah, yeah, no, I already took care of it. Yeah, yeah, I did it. I did it. It was so hard for her that to observe that, her mistakes are out in the open, that she would never acknowledge it deeply, never think about it. She was so uncomfortable with not being diligent in her work, for various reasons. She meant to be diligent in her work, but just capacity issues, and she just never was able to acknowledge that, hey, I am not diligent in my work. She would just keep going and fixing things, and over a period of time, I observed that it's because she's insecure. She's probably aware, she's gotten that feedback about her tasks in the past as well, but she's just not owned it, just not accepted it. And she feels fearful that, oh, if this goes out in the open, something bad will happen to me. So she just keeps hiding it, and she's unable to learn because she's not confident. She's trying to project to herself, no, I'm perfect, I figured it out this time, that time. But because they're not confident enough to accept their errors, they never grow. And they cannot learn new things because they're always trying to prove to you that you're the best. Like, obsessing over small mistakes. That there's one more example that comes to mind. I had a student one time, again, very good natured student, but there was this one thing that, uh, still pending, I think, to work upon, is this whole thing about, uh, you know whenever we were in meetings, etc., and if she said something in that meeting, like we were all learning and we were having coaching calls, etc., and then after that, if I would say something after she's finished talking, and thanking her for sharing her experience, and if I would say something else, she would think that what I'm saying is is correcting what she has said. And even if I'm talking something totally unrelated, and the next 5 minutes of the meeting would be constant explanation about, no, I didn't mean it like this. You're misunderstanding me. I didn't mean that. I didn't do that. And there's another pattern that would happen is whenever someone would share something, she would like to add more to what the other person has said in a way that sounded like she's superior or she was correcting herself. Now, what was happening over there? An insecurity that I need to be seen as the best. I need to be the most perfect person here. And if that's not happening, something's wrong with me and I'm useless and there's no meaning for me to be existing here. Right? So, a lot of insecurities, and it gets painful to be around them. It's stressful when you constantly give them the reassurance, no, I was talking about something else. Your point has been taken. I'm introducing a different point here. It just gets tiring for people to be around you also. Leads to a lot of different mental health issues like depression, low self esteem, anxiety, eating disorders, substance abuse, all stemming from insecurities. And low confidence in handling situations, low confidence in decision making. These are the people who actually, if they're leaders or if they're in charge of something, these are the people who freeze, are unable to give the leadership in those moments. And then, everyone dependent on them is going crazy. And even they're not able to give leadership to themselves also because of your own insecurities. You're unable to trust people. There's uh, one more story I can share is that we had one student who felt that she was being wronged by everyone. Everyone was out to get her, and everyone was doing everything possible so that she doesn't get a promotion, she doesn't grow in her personal life, she doesn't have good relationships in her family and even at the workplace and everything. And everyone was just throwing bad energy at her, and it's all because of them. And she just couldn't trust anyone. And it just and what was happening was that her progress was dependent upon her own being able to keep a calm mental state. And if your mental state is calm, you'll be able to think through things and make progress. But that was not happening. So she would get anxious, and then she would speak, and then she would get more insecure, and then again start. So it just got more and more difficult for her to trust people. That's another thing that happens to a lot of us. And negative emotions towards self also. Oh my God, I did something messed up here. I'm wrong. I'm useless. I'm bad. Negative emotions towards others. We get jealous. We get hurt by people. We can't stand it when somebody else is doing better than us. And we start projecting all of those things on other people. And then we wonder, why don't I have good relationships with people? And just unable to grow anything, and unable to make any progress. So let's look at what some of the comments here are saying. Prerna Krishna has something. I think what she's saying is that insecure people cause trouble. And Geeta is asking some question. Rima is, I'm looking for more people to share here. Rima is saying overthinking also happens, makes me insecure. Even from tiny message from my close ones makes me feel insecure. Rima, we're going to get you help for that. We have tools today for that. And insecurity brings fear, fear brings insecurity. Needing a lot more comments here. Needing Sujal, thank you for your thanks. Anshit is feeling as well, and I need more discussion and more comments so that I also feel enlivened with what we're trying to do here. Um, let's get to the next slide. And do only a few people feel insecure? Is it that only you feel insecure and everyone else is secure around you? No, everyone goes through their own share of insecurities. It's just that what sets makes people different, the ones who are successful and the ones who are still struggling, is that when they feel insecure, they're able to observe themselves instead of getting carried away and flowing in that insecurity and that fear and believing everything. They are able to observe that, hey, I'm feeling fear here. Hey, I'm not feeling very solid and secure right now. What can I do about that in this situation? So they're ready to take some action. And I watch a lot of sports videos. I watch a lot of sports people interviews also, because I love to explore the mindsets of the sports persons. It's a very rigorous schedule that they have to follow to represent their country. They have to be really on top of things. They have to really handle the pressure, the hopes of so many people resting on their shoulders. They have to really manage their game very well. They have to be fit. They have to constantly keep practicing and improving their technique. And I was watching this video recently, this interview, and someone asked, and Pakistan was had the best bowling attack in the 90s, with Wakar Yunus, with Wasim Akram, with Shoaib Akhtar, Saqlain Mushtaq. Imran Khan. They had like one of the best bowling attacks out there. And someone asked Sachin, "How would you prepare before a Pakistan match?" And he said, apart from the net practice and everything, he said like a few nights or a few days before, in his mind, because those bowlers were scary. They were the best bowlers. They were doing bouncers and yorkers and body line bowling and so many things, which is very scary. And he said that to deal with that, so that he did everything he could to prepare himself with, of course, a lot of physical net practice, but also mentally preparing himself subconsciously to deal with that. And the way he would do that is he would imagine, he would visualize each and every over, visualize each and every ball from each and every bowler, and also visualize how he's going to handle it and how he's going to hit the ball, how he's going to flick his wrists. And he said that that's how he used to prepare his subconscious mind to be able to deal with that big match and deal with that big pressure. So yes, everyone feels insecure. We work with many top leaders in many different organizations, and everyone has their moments of feeling insecure, but they're able to handle it. So some tips here, they're connected to what they're feeling. They know what they fear. Shatru bodh. They're clear about what enemy they're dealing with. What is that enemy that's causing fear to them? Not enemy, but like really, what is that enemy for them right now? So he knew these bowlers are the ones, Shatru bodh. I'm scared of them, or they're hard, they're difficult to deal with. So how can I practice and what can I do? And then they practice, they skill up, they strategize on how to handle the challenge ahead instead of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I don't know what to do. They don't have that panic attack, and they focus on their action and what needs to be done here more than the outcome. And they do not fear failure. It's okay. But that doesn't mean it's okay and I don't care and I'm not going to practice. No, I'm going to give my best. And if after that something happens, I'm going to learn from that and grow from that. And they're very focused on their goal. They don't lose sight of their goal. When we are insecure, we kind of don't have a goal because we make everybody else's goal our goal. Like whatever everyone's telling us, we try to make that our goal. And therefore we get more insecure because we find, people find a lot of security in having goals for themselves that helps you stay focused. So you're not the only one feeling insecure. So what is it that you can do to smash your insecurities? And let's talk about what are some of the things. So, what is smash, and what are some of the things that you can do to smash our insecurities? I see a lot more comments here from Ashish, Richa, Shreyasi. Thank you very much for your nice and kind comments. And Richa again, final exam is coming. Feel insecure of my friends, and I'm unable to prepare nicely for my exam. It's okay. Your friends may be better than you, and that's okay. You give your best. And you know what? If you don't overcome this right now, Richa Kumari, we do have 46-year-old students, 36-year-old students who are still so competitive that how come other students are doing better than me and I'm not doing better than them? And we just have to tell them, like, hey, take a deep breath. You're on your own journey, your own path, and you're going to grow. It's okay where the world goes, doesn't matter. 10 years down the line, nobody's going to remember each other's grades and marks and who got a first class and who got a distinction. And so just stay focused and work on yourself. So what can you do to smash your insecurities? So let's look at what does smash mean today. Smash is first is S, having a spiritual conception. M is becoming a master of your work. A is adult thinking, cultivating an adult thinking mindset and leaving the child mindset. And we'll talk about that. S is self reliance, relying on yourself and the Lord, the self in the heart, both the selves. And H is heal your fears and heal your past, because a lot of times some past experiences have created some fears in our mind and we haven't been able to resolve them. So we need to heal them, we need to resolve them so that we can come out of their clutches and move forward. So are you with me on Smash? S is spiritual conception, M is master your work, A is adult thinking, S is self-reliance, and heal, H is heal your fears and heal your past. So yes, we have a lot of questions and we will have time for Q&A as well, so please be here. And let's look at the next. Now what is S? And I'll talk a lot of things here happening in the slide. It's a very busy slide, but you know what, this diagram is my favorite diagram. I love this diagram, and I've been using it for myself for the last 8 years. And I use this in a lot of presentations. I love this image and I've saved it because it speaks a lot of things to me. So we'll get into that, but before that, I'll tell you all a little bit of a story. So I was once in a situation, or not once, more than a decade. I was in a situation where I had, just moved to a new place, joined a new community, but somehow there were a certain group of people in that community who didn't like me being there. And let's put it very simply. And I was just being myself. I was just trying to be good and keep my head down and do my work and stay focused on my life and my growth and my sadhana and things like that. But there was a certain group that just didn't like me existing, didn't like me there, and I used to hear a lot of criticism about me constantly, like, oh, oh, this person said this about you, and oh, this person said that about you. And I wonder why those people would come and tell me who said what about me and just complicated my life. But I would just ignore and I would just go on and continue doing my work. But after about a decade, somehow I just kept my head down, stayed focused, and kept doing my work. But after about a decade, one of the women in that group, she really went berserk, and the it was almost like a smear campaign happening, falsely accusing me of things over the years. And I realized, like, why are some people getting more negative towards me? Because she was kind of saying a lot of false things about me to a lot of people, and it just got like really worse that things started reaching my family in India, and just my community, and so many things that it got like really difficult and really really nasty from her side. That I used to get very nasty emails from her, nasty messages from her, and there's only a limit to how much you can block. And it did break my confidence after a while. It just got so painful that, hey, I'm trying to belong here, and why can't you let me belong? I have a need to belong, I have a need for community, but you're just doing this to me. And I tried talking it out to her a few times that, what is it that I have done that is upsetting you, and please let me know and I'm ready to fix myself. But I never got a straight answer. And it just got really bad, really worse, and started reaching my workplace also. And I just didn't know what to do because there's nothing I could do to stop somebody from saying what they're saying or doing what they're doing. And I was thinking that if I break in my strength right now, if I allow this to break my confidence right now, then I'm finished. But what can I do to keep my confidence? And what can I do to find my security in this situation? And that was a question I had for myself, few days pondering on it. I mean, I did go through my stage of being disturbed and hurt and all of that, but I then decided that, okay, if I'm just going to do this, I'm not going to come out of it. There's a lot of mode of ignorance, a lot of tamasic energy that if I just keep complaining about what's happening. But what can I do in a sattva way, in a proactive way to really find my confidence again? I can't stop this person from saying what they're saying and doing what they're doing. And I came to this conclusion that when I look at this diagram, and when I read the Bhagavad Gita, and when I understand the cycle of the birth, disease, old age, and death, what I understand is that there is this identity of Namita Purohit that she was trying to malign. She was trying to cast aspersions on, uh, you know create confusion about, criticize. This identity is not me. Is just something that's connected to this body, which I have received in this cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. When I die, this identity of Namita Purohit dies. I don't carry this identity with me. I don't carry the achievements with me. I don't carry the smear campaign with me. So if this is something, whether it's my good name or good connections with everyone, or whether it's my smear, like how she smeared my name, I'm going to carry none of it. And even if that's understanding it at one level, but at a deeper level, if it ends with death, that means it's dead now, right? So if I know that a stock is going to be at $0 from a year from now, am I going to invest my savings in that stock, in that share? No, I'm not going to do that because I know it's going to be zero in a year's time. Will you invest in such a share, such a stock, such a company? No. So why should I invest my energy in trying to protect my reputation here. I have done what I could. Whoever wants to believe will believe her. Whoever wants to believe me, knows me, will believe me. And I'm not going to spend any more energy on this. I just felt that. And because my reputation is dead anyway, if it's going to die when I die, it's dead right now. It's just like that stock. If it's going to be $0 after 1 year, it's no point investing in this energy. And I said to myself, I'm going to find, she can do whatever she wants. She can cause me to get separated from my relationships, my friendships, and malign me at work and malign me everywhere, etc. But there's one thing she can't take away from me. And anyway, whatever she's trying to take away from me right now is anyway gone at death. So what am I trying to grieve about? But there's one thing she can't take away from me is my real identity. And my real identity is I am part and parcel of Krishna, God. And even Krishna cannot take that identity away from me. That's so powerful, right? This identity of me being a part and parcel of God and having a relationship of service with God, even God can't take that away from me. That's an eternal identity, that's an eternal relationship. And let me rest in that. That's what I decided at that time. I was really left with no choice. I could either, keep getting lost in that argument with her or that fight or that campaign or that storm or whatever was happening, or I could just like detach myself and find peace and find security. And as I found security in that, I was able to actually focus better on my goals. My goal was that I have been given some ability by the Lord to be able to explain these things in a certain way. And I like doing it. I like serving people in this way. So let me just stay focused on this and let me take this to more and more people. Let me just keep that my focus. And I actually became more and more fearless in my work because of this one realization. So we think that I am not the soul, but we're covered by the mind, intelligence, and the false ego. And I'm not talking about the diagram. We're talking about the body. We're like, I'm this body, my body image, I should look beautiful. You know what? I'm graying, I'm wrinkling, and it's okay. It's gonna happen. But that's not me. And for that matter, I think even death is overrated. What is it? I still first live in Mumbai, then I was in Seattle. I missed all my relationships. I had to set up a new identity and a new way of living. And then I moved after, more than a decade. I moved back to India and I kind of now live both places. Just like I kept moving like that, that's just going to be another transition. So, what is going to stay with me is my relationship with Krishna and the service that I'm doing. And that's what I'm going to stay focused on. And from that, I found a lot of security. So, from Smash, if S is inspiring for you, is to have a spiritual conception of eternality, then that's going to help you a lot. Because as you can see in this diagram, my the false identity that is surrounding my soul, my mind, intelligence, false ego, my physical body, then the things connected to my body, my house, my car, my the people who work for me, or the things that I have, my father, mother, brother, my husband, wife, children, in-laws, all of these things, they're all connected to your body. Nothing goes further. And I think I am all of that, but I'm not all of that. I am a spirit soul who's just here to do my duties and focus on Krishna, use this lifetime to grow in my relationship with Krishna through doing my duties. And that's what I want to stay focused on. And that brings a lot of security. And in that identity, our intent is not that how can I lord and how can I be the best and how can I do this and how can I do that. You miss the point. In that identity, we're looking about how can I serve, how can I contribute in a meaningful way. What does God expect out of me and what can I do here? Because that's the eternal relationship that we have. And Krishna emphasizes this in the Bhagavad Gita. And he says that those are seers of the truth. And these are verses from the second chapter, right? Because Arjun is grieving, Arjun's crying, he's disturbed, he's like, why am I fighting? All of that's happening, right? Nasato vidyate bhavo. That was Krishna saying those are seers of the truth, have concluded that of a non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance. So if it's going to die after a few years, it's dead right now. Why am I investing in this? I'm going to invest in this so that it can be a good vehicle for me to go further in my life. But this is not all in all. And the eternal soul, there is no change. The soul is no change. And this they have concluded by studying both. And then he also says, therefore, do thou fight For the sukha dukhe samay dhira labha labha jaya jayo, right? He says, do the fight just for the sake of fighting. No, doesn't mean you and I fight. No, do your duty, do your work, do your service, just for the sake of doing it. Stay focused on that and keep moving ahead. And by so doing, you will never incur sin. So having a spiritual conception, as I was sharing in the story, it helped me find a lot of peace. And I hope you find your anchor. It actually helped me feel very anchored in that whole situation. And even now, it's something has shifted inside of me, so I feel very anchored, and it's all because of the blessings of my gurus. Also, that I was able to remember their teachings at that time, and I was able to actually make that shift. That I don't want to be troubled by this. It's I just don't want to be troubled by this anymore. Rather stay focused on places where I can contribute and do something positive than try to fight a very tamasic battle here. Yes, so something for you to think about. Looking forward to more questions, more comments coming through. Next up, we have, let's go. Smash. M is master your work, right? For now, if you have a spiritual conception, that's great, very important. But another thing is you want to develop mastery in at least one thing in your life. And it doesn't have to be some mastery, does not mean that you're being given the Padma Shri and the Padma Bhushan and you're getting the Oscar award for it or the Nobel Prize for it. By the way, the Nobel Peace Prize is also, the Nobels are also rigged. You're right. So we're not talking about whether, again, we're not into that approval seeking mode when we're talking about mastering your work. It's like, truly that, okay, I'm a master in this, at least one thing. And it may be big or small, that doesn't matter. But what it does is when you're a master in one thing, you've actually learned and skilled yourself in that. You become confident and you become secure that I can figure things out. And then you naturally are able to carry that confidence in other aspects of your life. This, I can figure it out. I can learn. I'm good at learning things and I can figure it out. So you are able to handle all the difficult situations in life like that, right? So questions to ask yourself: what are you good at? What are you a master at? What are you trying to be a master at? What can you do? What can you become good at? So let me know in the chat. Trying to get some engagement here. What are some of the things you want to do? What are some of the things you're good at? Uh, and look at that. So mastering your work is very important, and all the spiritual conception that you have, you can have it, but if you're not exercising it, expressing it through work, then that spiritual conception is not going to grow either. So we need to work so that we can practice that spiritual conception, and it becomes like a sadhana. Work can engage you, keep your mind focused, and you can keep moving ahead, and your work should be connected to your goal. Now in the Mahabharata, when the Pandavas were in exile, because of the false gambling games that were played, and they didn't like sit down insecure. They lost everything. They were living in the palace. They didn't know what their future was like. They didn't know when they would be attacked by Duryodhana and party. They were living in the forest, not a very easy lifestyle. Fear of animals, fear of the elements, so many things to deal with: finding firewood, finding food, growing food, and keep moving to different places, etc. Now, did they sit and complain, oh my God, my life is a waste. Oh no, I have no security. I don't know what I'm going to do. No, they used their time in mastering their skills. Arjun did great meditation and he was able to receive the blessings of the Pashupati Astra from Lord Shiva himself. And so many other stories like that. So mastering your work is very important. And that gives you confidence so that when it's time to exercise yourself, you're able to do that. So some things to think about. So M is master your work. A is adult thinking. Just checking in here. And we look at this. So we also want to have adult thinking. Adult, child thinking is someone help me, love me. If you don't love me, I can't live. Someone take care of me. Someone say sweet words to me. Someone please humor me. I'm getting bored right now. Someone serve me, give me food. It's like I'm helpless, so please help me, right? That's the child stance. And some of us carry that child stance even into our adulthood. And then we continue remaining insecure children in adult bodies, right? So we haven't grown. We haven't understood what it is to be an adult, and we have to develop some adult thinking here. And some points here I put down here is I can live without the approval of people. It's not the end of the world if people don't like me. It wasn't the end of the world that that lady didn't like me and she did what she did, right? And eventually, she died recently, and I was thinking, I prayed for her soul, prayed to Krishna that she gets a higher destination. But I was just thinking that not just my identity is temporary, her identity is also temporary. No one's going to remember us after 3 generations. And no one really cares about what people think of me and what she thought of me or what I thought of her, or how I try to defend myself and all of that. It's immaterial. She died. It's over. I'll die and it's over. So why waste time, right? So stop obsessing over small things. uh, Big things, small errors, people's reactions, your own failures. We tend to obsess so much. We beat ourselves up so much, and we think, oh, okay, my hair is not in place. My this is not in place. Oh my God, I'm not earning as much as my other friends are earning, and something's wrong with me. Oh my God, how will they feel if I go in front of them? Oh, I actually have this victory, but it's too small to tell my friends. They're doing much better than me, etc. Right? So we keep obsessing about all of these things, and we just don't know how to live life. Another thing about adult thinking is change is a constant. Relationships keep changing, wealth statuses keep changing, people's behaviors, people's natures keep changing. You keep changing, your body keeps changing, situations keep changing, economies change, everything changes, right? So, adult thinking is to know that, yeah, things change. So, we don't get shocked. Oh my God, how could this person behave like this with me? How did this happen? And how could this, how could, well, people change, things happen. An adult observes it and like, okay, yeah, people change. I'm secure in myself and I'm going to go. Having a strong purpose and staying focused on your own goals is also very important. When you don't have a strong purpose, you get distracted by looking for people's approvals. But when you have a strong purpose, all you care about is that strong purpose, and you want to fulfill that purpose, and you stay focused on that. So you don't really get involved with whether you're getting approval or not, whether people are liking you or not, and this and that. It doesn't matter. And another thing is, every moment is a moment of learning and growth. I make so many mistakes, but can I learn from them? And can I move on? Or am I going to be like, oh, I made a mistake? No, I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to move on. And you can never be perfect. So don't even try. Try to be good enough, try to be your best, whatever you can do, and ask for help in your areas of growth. Ask for mentorship. Ask, receive guidance from people who are doing better than us, who are ahead of us. And, because your focus is your growth and your journey, it's not about who's thinking what about you. I mean, it's a waste of your time. So, adult thinking is very important. Also, checking in here, some more things here. So, we have adult thinking, and trying to go to the next slide. Self reliance is very important, right? So, how much of your confidence is coming from inside versus coming from the outside? And that's what you want to know. How much of your confidence is coming from your inside versus the outside? So, self reliance is very important. A lot of people try to get confidence from outside. Oh, I have this. Oh, this person is on my side. I know that leader. Oh, I have so much wealth and I have this and I have that. What if you have nothing? What if you have none of that? Do you have enough confidence in yourself that you can you can make your life, and you can move ahead, and you can also grow spiritually? So when you're self-reliant, you are nearer to success, you attract success. But when you're not self-reliant, you're trying to rely on everybody else but yourself. But you know what, you're probably the only person you can truly trust to be by your own side, because you're always there with yourself. So instead of relying on other people, why can't you promise to yourself that you're on your side and you're going to make things happen, whatever your goals are and whatever your spiritual journey is? Right? So I will not let myself down. I can trust myself. Why wait for someone else? And what you have is enough. A lot of times, I know a lot of people tell me, oh, only if I had some office staff. Oh, only if I had some money. Oh, only if I had this. Only if I had more support from home. Oh, only if I lived in a better neighborhood. Only if I had gone to a better school. Oh, if I had better parents. No, whatever you have right now is enough. You can start from there and you can go. So I'm here for myself and it's up to me. And always remember one thing, no one is here to pick you up or pick up after you. So a lot of times when we're insecure, we're thinking, and we keep like, okay, remaining in that insecurity, and somebody's going to come and save you. No, nobody's going to come and save you. You're going to save yourself, because as a coach, if I see a client who's like looking at me like, oh, okay, we take coaching from you and all my problems will be solved, and I'm like, probably I'm not very excited about that client, because I'm like, no, I'm here to coach you, but I need you to take responsibility for your things, right? So even if you want people to support you and invest in you, you got to show that you're ready to invest in yourselves and work on yourself, right? So no one is here to pick you up unless you pick yourself up. And once you pick yourself up, like that sparrow did, her eggs was taken away by the ocean. She had laid her eggs, and then they went into the ocean because of the high tide. And she was very angry with the ocean. And she kept telling the ocean, I need my eggs back. I need my eggs back. I need my eggs back. And he just didn't give it. And then she told him, I am going to empty you out, and I'm going to make sure I get my eggs back. This is a mother's determination. And she keeps filling water in her beak, and she starts emptying the ocean drop by drop. And she's the one who's being self-reliant. She's the one who is not expecting someone to pick up after her. She's doing what is needed. And then Garudji, has mercy on her and like wants to help her out, and then he helps her out, and then that's how the story progresses. It tells the ocean, and the ocean gets the eggs back. But would Garudji just come and help her? No, she's doing the effort. She really cares about that outcome, and therefore other people also want to invest in it with you. But if you don't care about the outcome, and if you're not doing anything about it, why would other people invest in you, and why would they try to help you? And so remember that this story, and remember that self-reliance is important. So as you rely on yourself and you take action in your life, then you depend on the mercy of the Lord, the self also who resides within you. So we have the Atma and the Paramatma, both are the selves, the self and the super self. And then you rely on the Lord. Now, what does relying on the Lord mean? Does it mean that I'm going to get what I want because I'm relying on the Lord? No. Whatever happens, happens for my greatest good. So even if after all the effort I put in, if something has not happened, I rely on the Lord. And whatever has happened for my greatest good. I have the Lord's protection. Something for you to think about. And last is H. H is heal your fears and past trauma, right? So how do you see fear when you're insecure and you're fearful? How are you going to deal with your fear? What are you going to do with it? Like how Sachin Tendulkar, he's visualizing each and every ball, and he's playing it and making his subconscious body ready. How are you going to deal with your fear? How are you going to face your fear, and what are you going to how are action are you going to take? Are you going to be in fear mode, or are you going to be in action mode? So that's important. We've already done a show on that, Face Your Fears. The link is there in the description of this video. So those of you who want to watch it, you can watch that. So ask yourself, why am I scared about this? What can I do to overcome this? And also, sometimes a lot of our fears, a lot of our insecurities we're just carrying as learned behaviors from the families of origin and our primary caregivers, because they behaved like that. We also learned how to behave like that, but that's not truly who you are. Another thing that happens is that because you've probably had some incidents and probably had some things in your life, or your ancestors have had it, you're still carrying that emotion in you. So, what can you do to resolve your history? What can you do to heal your past trauma and your patterns? So, you can watch the show Heal Your Past, Start Loving Yourself Again. If you have such things because of which you've gone through some traumatic memories, because of which you're insecure right now, and you can we also have a guided meditation on that in that video, Heal Your Past and Start Loving Yourself Again. It's linked in the description. And that video is, I think, the guided meditation starts at 1 hour 4 minutes and 50 seconds, so you could take advantage of that. Next up is also, as we talk about Smash. So is Smash clear to everyone? And are we clear about what Smash is and how Smash can help us? And so we talked about Smash. We talked about what is Smash here. So we talked about Smash your insecurities. We've talked about spiritual conception. Having a spiritual conception is important. Become a master at your work with M. A is adult thinking and not child helpless thinking, but adult thinking. I can do it. I can take care of myself, and also having the right expectations from life. Then we have S is self reliance, and H is heal your fears. And I'd also like to introduce you to four very powerful verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam that really helped me in that situation. And it really clarified a lot of things with me. So I'd like to encourage all of you to read Srimad Bhagavatam, but I thought I'll just share these verses with you also. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is a discussion between Parikshit Maharaj, and Sukadev Goswami is teaching him, instructing him. And this is how Parikshit Maharaj spends the last 7 days of his life hearing and purifying himself by hearing from Sukadev Goswami. So, because he's been cursed to die in 7 days. So, when the seventh day has approached and the Takshak bird is going to come and kill him, Sukadev Goswami has already given him all the knowledge to prepare him, and Parikshit Maharaj, being a very good student, has already absorbed it. And now, like, Sukadev Goswami is giving the last push to Parikshit Maharaj to prepare himself for the impending death, that event that the bird is going to come and kill him. And he says these four very powerful verses to him in the Srimad Bhagavatam. They're in the 12th canto, 4th chapter, the four kinds of annihilation. And it's very powerful. And if possible, you can close your eyes and just try to think about what is being said in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sukadev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj that there is this great annihilation, partial annihilation, at the end of Brahma's day. And after 1 day of Brahma, annihilation occurs during his night, which is of the same duration. At that time, all the three planetary systems of this universe are subject to destruction. Yeah, that's what happens. That's one type of annihilation. The end of Brahma's life is another type of annihilation, and that's a full annihilation where all the material elements and the entire universal egg actually, comprising the elemental amalgamation of creation, is confronted with the destruction. So, in the first type of annihilation, the universe egg is still maintained. It's just that the planetary systems get destroyed and then they're recreated again in Brahma's morning. But at the end of Brahma's night, all the entire universe collapses. And then uh, Sukadev Goswami tells him that there's also continuous annihilation. Your cells are continuously getting annihilated and recreated. And there's a continuous, of all created beings, right? We take birth, we die. Our lifespan looks bigger, but the size is smaller, and things like that. And just think about it, that this universe that we live in, even that is not permanent, where we're trying to define our existence, trying to assert ourselves and independence and whatever else we're trying to do. So the universe also undergoes annihilation, partial and complete. There's daily annihilation happening around us, but we're still trying to find security in the permanence of this world, which is not permanent. And then Sukadev Goswami prepares him and tells him that the death of the false ego is the ultimate annihilation. And he says, my dear Parikshit, when the illusory false ego that binds the soul has been cut off with the sword of discriminating knowledge, and one has developed realization of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, this is called the Atyantika, or ultimate annihilation of material existence. So the more we identify with the material energy, the more false ego we are in. Now, what is identification with the material energy? The diagram I showed you, my favorite diagram here, where we're actually soul, but we're identifying with the mind, the body, the false identity, and all the things that are connected to the body. And he says that when you stop identifying with that and you just start defining yourself in relationship with Krishna, that's the ultimate annihilation, because then you're free from your insecurities. You're free from the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. And you're situated in your real identity where there is no chance of any insecurity. So that is our goal. We're already living in a world that is constantly getting destroyed and annihilated. Our bodies, our own identities, birth, disease, old age, and death, and so many things. So let's try to start with finding security in something that's permanent and use the smash tools that I've talked about, and overcome your insecurities and contributing with some meaningful service in the world. The more connected you are with your goal, the more secure you will be and the more you will perform. And it's okay if you don't achieve everything, doesn't matter. Move ahead and do what you need to do, learn from your lessons, rise in your purpose. The Lord is always there for us with a lot of mercy and a lot of love, and have that faith. And Prabhupada mentions this in the Nectar of Instruction. Avashya Rakhibo Krishna, that confidence that the Lord will take care of me. It may not be in the way I want, but the Lord will never abandon me. He's always there for me. And whatever happens is going to happen for my highest good. So, how can I stay focused on that highest good, and how can I go ahead? So, let's find our security in something permanent And in addition, as we're dealing with our material identities, it's a little hard to just detach ourselves completely. Use the smash tools that I've talked about and move forward. And Krishna promises in the ninth chapter, 22nd verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. LIC, yogakshemam vahamyaham. Life Insurance Corporation of India has a slogan, Yogakshemam Mahamyaham, and that's the promise given by God to us, that those who worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, and what does that mean? Also following His system, working in line with His, what the systems that He has set up, following Varnashram and so many things. To them, I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. So have that faith, and the connect yourself with your spiritual conception by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That gives you a reminder of your connection with the Lord, and it helps you make progress. So thank you very much, and we'll stop sharing screen now, and we'll see that we have questions, and start posting your questions now, so that we can start answering your questions here. So the tech team will bring the questions on the screen, and we will try our best to answer them. So, Prerna Krishna, Namita Ji, I have experienced that insecure people trouble others unnecessarily and wrongly too, because their behavior and karmas are impacted by their own prejudices and false notions. Yeah, that happens. And they're trying to find some security by doing all of that to other people, by controlling other people and engaging in some of these behaviors. Yeah, that happens. You're right. But what can you do to stay focused on yourself and stay focused on your goals and your growth while doing your duties? Is that is what is important. So you're right about your observation, and it's very hard, it's actually very draining to be around insecure people. They present themselves as low confidence also sometimes, like, oh, I don't know if this will be right, I don't know if they like what I cooked, I don't know if my manager will like what I did, I don't know if this will happen, I don't know if that will happen. And sadly, the insecure people are just, the world revolves around them. It's all about them. It's not about the task at hand. It's not about the goal that needs to be achieved, etc. It's all about them. And they're very too entangled in their false ego and that false image. It's just, insecurities can present themselves as arrogance. Insecurities can also present themselves as low self esteem and low confidence. Yes, next question, please. Shreyasi Vaishnav. Namita ji, very good evening. I'm a huge fan of yours, and so am I a huge fan of yours, Shreyasi. And I've seen almost videos of yours. It changed my life in every aspect. I'm so calm and peaceful now. Very good to hear that. Many congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for doing all that hard work, that all that inner work, and helping yourself and coming to this very beautiful, confident, and blissful stage. Many congratulations to you, Shreyasi, and thank you so much for this very warm and nice comment. Very thoughtful of you. Thank you. Yes, next question, please. Ashish Agrawal. Namita ji, how to deal with my wife who's suffering from paranoia and not able to think maturely and becomes very unsure with herself and then loses her temper. So Ashish ji, sorry to hear that, and you're a good husband and you really want to help your wife, which is a good thing. You're doing your duty. We nowadays we celebrate people doing their duties because it's very rare. So thank you for doing your duty, and I'm sure Krishna is very pleased with you. Now, regarding paranoia, uh, it's, I mean, the approach that I follow, and I think that helps everyone, is that work not just on her mind. Like, I'm sure you would have taken her for therapy or medication or things like that. And if she's willing to get the help, now the thing is, you can't help somebody who doesn't want to get help. But if she's willing to get help, what she needs to do is to work at three levels. Work on her body. A lot of times, physical imbalances, vata imbalances, also lead to a lot of mental health issues. And just by bringing about a balance in the air and the ether, the prana element of your body, a lot of mental health issues get calmed. So maybe getting in touch with a good Ayurvedic doctor wherever you live. It's important that they are local, because then you can visit them, and getting some massages and panchakarma and things, like follow their recommendation. Another thing is also helping her regulate her prana. So you have the physical body, then you have the etheric body, which is your chakras and nadis, etc. And if she could do some regular yoga, that would help her a lot. Like go to a yoga center that's not new, but that's been there, and they're doing classical traditional yoga for many years. And see if she could, start practicing some yoga, because then she'll learn systematically, bring her body to a calm stage and gradually through the pranayam, bring her mind to a calm stage. So do that. And then at the mental level, there are a lot of thought processes that may be stuck in her body. And also at the energy level, healing helps as well. A lot of people, Reiki healing and pranic healing, because a lot of this is kind of root chakra issues, that, root chakra is not working properly or it's not functioning properly. And with healing that system, balancing the energy, the mind starts functioning properly. And then also from the mental health standpoint, and see if the thought processes that she's carrying are not serving her well, and she needs to we have to find ways to help her change those thought processes. So working with a good therapist, coach, whatever you can find, uh, and helping her in dealing with those thought processes. So always have a holistic approach when you're working on with yourself. I just recently released a video on World Mental Health Day on Monday. It's on my channel, about how there is a need for a holistic approach as more and more people are getting disturbed in the world. And also checking out her astrology and finding any remedies that need to be done there. There may be some past life offenses that are presenting as weak mental health right now, and if any paschatap needs to be done, any remedies need to be done around that, then do that. So take a holistic approach, a stepwise approach, and gradually, I'm sure you'll get there. It will take time, but I'm sure you'll get there. And while you take care of her, Ashish ji, please also take care of yourself. It can be hard as you're trying to be solid and take care of your spouse. So also find ways to take care of yourself. Take that time to take care of yourself so that you can do your duty towards her. Wish you all the very best, Ashish ji. Next question, please. Shreyasi Vaishnav. One question I want to ask is where I get stuck is that you said that it's all your past karmas due to which you suffer your prarabdh. Then why Draupadi not taken it as prarabdh and fought for her insult? I think you missed the lecture there. What I clearly said is that it is your prarabdh, but you need to do what you need to do to set your boundaries and deal with the situation at hand, and and do what you need to do. But you have to be very thoughtful about what new karmas are you creating yourself, and that is how Draupadi decided to deal with that. Everyone's decision, everyone's nature is different. So I never said that it's your prarabdh, then okay, you just tolerate, because sometimes the prarabdh is very hard, and that doesn't mean you don't do anything to preserve yourself. You need to preserve yourself, keep yourself safe, and so that you can continue progressing. But be very thoughtful about not creating new karma for yourself. And if fighting for your insult is what is something that resonates with you, then try it out and see how you feel once you get an answer from that. Like, will that resolve what you're feeling? I've done many shows on how to deal with someone who's blamed you, or toxic people, and all of that. And how can you take revenge, badla lene ka number one tarika, and all. And try doing some of those things and see if that's pacifying you, that's giving you peace from the insult that you went through. That is an inside job, healing yourself from the difficult situations you've gone through. And then you set boundaries so that those situations don't happen again. And why do you set boundaries? So that you can stay focused on your goals, right? But fighting it out and telling them and all of that, you do feel like power, you feel victorious, but it doesn't heal the emotional pain you went through. That needs healing. That loss that you felt needs healing, that needs separate healing. So my the way I handle things is, I'd rather realize that I've gone through some big emotional upheaval right now, and let me take care of myself, and this anger energy or whatever I have, let me channelize it towards my own growth. Why should I waste it on taking revenge of my insult, etc., and why should I waste my time? But that's me. I mean, you can decide the course of action you'd like. Wish you all the best. Next question, please. Shubham Relekar. Sometimes I feel insecure about my job, even though I'm doing my best, but I feel that I may not be best fit for my position. How to overcome that kind of thinking? I know, Shubham, the job world is very tough, because if you're not growing, you're out. It's not like you're not growing and you can stay at that same position. If you're not growing, then you're out. That's what happens in the companies. And therefore, and they, I think they like to create that model, and they like to create that insecurity in everybody, so that everyone is constantly working and constantly fearful. And then also there's a lot of office politics because the resources are less, the positions are less, and there are many people fighting for the same thing. So yes, that environment is there. Now, if I had to do think about what you said, and if I was in that situation, I would think about what is the worst that can happen in this situation. I'll get fired. If I get fired because I'm Smash, I'm following Smash. I am spiritually, I have a spiritual conception. I am a master in my work. So focus on mastering your work, getting better and better at your skills. Adult thinking, that's what we're doing right now. And S is self reliance, right? So if the worst thing that can happen is I get fired from here and my manager is not even going to give me a good recommendation. If that's the worst thing that happens, yes. I have a spiritual conception that's going to help me stay grounded and focused and find an anchoring that's permanent rather than temporary job and all these identities. Because I'm a master at my work and I have good skills, I'm sure I'll find a job somewhere. Adult thinking, yeah, this is part of life, this can happen. And S is self reliance. I rely on myself that even if the worst happens here, I'll find a job. But I'm not going to I'm not going to negotiate on, you know, doing certain things just because I'm so scared about, it's like because I'm feeling so lonely, I'm just going to find the next person and get married to them. No, I'm going to work in a way that's honest, that's pleasing to Krishna, that's pleasing to my bosses. I'm going to become a master in my work. I'm going to have adult thinking that things are temporary. I'm going to be self reliant, and I'm sure I can figure out another job. So that's what would I do in that situation. And if it comes to that, I will deal with it. I can deal with it. It's not the end of my world if I lose this job. I will deal with it. I will do my best, but I'll deal with it. Can I have the question again, please? Because I think I just answered like the first part of this question. I didn't answer the remaining. Can I have this question again, please? And I feel that I may not be the best fit for my position. Oh, we're not the best fits in this material world, so we're never going to feel like I'm a best fit. Now, for those of us who feel that my psychophysical nature is very different from the jobs that I'm doing, then you try to pacify your psychophysical nature by engaging in volunteer work or doing something that makes you feel more aligned to your nature, because you're there advanced in your career. It becomes very difficult to change and suddenly and do something drastic, because there's a lot of dependencies in your financial security. So you may not be the best fit for your job. Then try to get the skills you need, so that if it's a skill thing and not a psychophysical nature thing, then skill up. We have to constantly learn and constantly keep learning and constantly keep growing. So skill up so you can be a best fit for your job. And also, if you feel at a psychophysical nature, I'm not the best fit here, then try to do things in your free time which align more to your nature, so that you can feel encouraged and you can face something that's uncomfortable. Wish you all the very best, Shubham. Next question, please. Nidhi, how to deal with not such a good communication skill and feel insecure to convey my thoughts in affluent way? Well, many congratulations. You have good communication and you have conveyed your thoughts here very clearly, Nidhi. So many congratulations to you for that. You're already taken a step and you're already doing good. Now, that's a great question, actually. I was going to share some examples on that. Uh, it's we get a lot of students, and we see that a lot of high achievers have difficulty communicating, are not sure about whether they're saying the right thing or not. So think about, why do you have that fear that I must communicate perfectly? I mean, if I have that fear, I don't think I'll be able to do what I'm doing right now. Uh, I think I'm coming here and I'm talking to all of you. You're my friends and you're my family, and I'm here and I'm talking to all of you. So I am not perfect. I do fumble for words. I do have a lot of ers and ums, and I'm not able to do the best communication, but I feel that my message is still reaching you. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I take the fear of this whole thing by not thinking I'm giving a performance. I'm just saying I'm just here to communicate my thoughts. And some people may like it, some people may not like it, and I'll learn from the mistakes I make. So setting that mindset. Also, Try to understand, why do you have the fear of communication? Is it that you're expecting yourselves to be perfect, or is it that you're so scared that people may not understand what you're saying? If they don't understand what you're saying, then try again, try again, and try again. It's not the end of the world. So analyze what your fear is and what can you do to overcome it. Also, doing ujjayi pranayam helps with your this area, and helps release the fear, tension, and so many things. Now don't just tell me I'm going to do ujjayi pranayam, but I haven't been, my communication hasn't improved. No, you have to work at the mental level also, energy level also. So look at what ujjayi pranayam is, and try to do that to help balance your vocal cords, etc. And also practice. Start writing. Start recording yourself, not to publish, but just practice is important. Sachin Tendulkar, the god of cricket, the greatest batsman, that those are the titles he has. He is practicing. So if I want to get better at something, I need to practice. And I can practice. You have your phone, and I'm not even telling you to do a performance and go out there and talk to 20 people. Just keep recording. You have a thought, record yourself, hear it again, think about how could I have communicated better. Again, you have a thought, again record it. Hear it again and think about how you could have communicated better. Think about the conversations you had during the day, and instead of feeling embarrassed and shy, think about how could I have communicated that better, what could I have done there, let me learn. Or what was the fear because of which I wasn't able to speak. So analyze and work. It's all hard work, and but you'll get there if you're committed. So wish you all the best. Thank you. Next question, please. Sangeeta Rai. Namita Ji, I have watched almost all of your videos, and they have helped me a lot to deal with my narcissistic partner. Thank you very much. I am very grateful to you for your thoughtfulness and kindness in sharing this comment here publicly. Appreciate it very much. And also, I'm very happy that you're growing and glowing, and you have found ways to make progress in your life. So wish you the very best, Sangeeta Ji. It takes a lot of courage to implement all of those things, and many congratulations to you for doing that. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best. Next question, please. Arjita Mithu. Thank you for this amazing session, ma'am. Thank you, Arjita. When I perform my task as a student, I get fear of getting compared. The fear is low as of now due to worshipping Krishna. Wonderful. So she's sharing this very beautiful realization that by having a spiritual conception in life, and by staying connected to Krishna, she's connecting more and more with Krishna's love and protection for her. She's connecting more and more with her own eternal nature and her real nature, and now she's feeling less and less fear of getting compared. I hope I have paraphrased right and understood you well, Arjita. Yes, wonderful. And we're getting this message on Hare Krishna TV here. So the Kartik month is on, and Hare Krishna TV on, if you wish to organize some services at Sri Vrindavan Dham, you can register now, and the bit.ly link is there. And I believe they're sharing it in the comments as well. So you can take care of that. And there's a contact number as well, 9167477477. I believe that's also a WhatsApp number. So please take advantage of that for those of you who are looking for something like that. Yes, next question, please. Mukesh Singh ji, Namita ji, just want to know which method of meditation you follow. So I follow the mantra meditation method. Chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Uh, uh, that's what we learn in from Srila Prabhupada, and that's the mantra meditation. Sankirtan Yagya is the best form of meditation in this day and age, because Kali Yuga, we're very disturbed minds. We're not as focused as the rishis of the previous ages. So mantra meditation engages all your senses, your sense of speaking, your hands, and the focus is on hearing the mantra and connecting with the mantra. So that's what I practice. But in addition, while I'm doing yoga, I also it's part of the asanas that they make you do. I also say Om like a few times and things like that. Yeah, but yeah, my main focus is if I can do my mantra meditation properly every day. So yes, wish you all the best. Next question, please. I think we got this question, sir. Tech team, next question, please. Darshan K. I'm afraid of my marriage. Like, will I be a good husband or not? How to overcome this insecurity? I just need a little bit, try to get some water and uh, take care of the itchiness in my throat. Give me a moment, please. So that's a good thing to recognize that you have this fear and you're able to explain what that fear is. So that's half the battle won, Darshanji. Will I be a good husband or not? Right? So you have that fear, which means you're a good person. You're a very sensitive and a thoughtful person, and you care about doing your duty properly. You're mindful of that, and I appreciate that in you. Now, can you write down right now on your own as your personal exercise, will I be a good husband or not? Like, what's going on in your head? When stuff goes on in my head and I start getting disturbed and unable to sleep and all, I just write everything down. And if you see my table, I always have different books for different things, different diaries for different things where I note different things down so that my mind is organized. Now, can you write down at least three things that are making you scared whether you'll be a good husband or not? Are you wondering about whether you'll be a good provider or not? Whether your wife will like you or not? Whether you'll be able to make her feel protected and safe and understand her or not? I mean, what is it that is causing insecurity in you? What is it that is causing this fear in you? And what can you do to address it? Right? So that is one thing that you want to do. The second thing you want to do is try to, a lot of people, like, we're not. There's no proper training that is happening in this day and age for grihastashram, the married life, and it's almost like, okay, you get married and now you figure it out. Uh, but why don't you read some shastras? Why don't you understand what grihastashram is all about? Why don't you understand your culture, your own roots, Darshan KG? What are the duties of a husband, and what are some of the things that you think you can do? What are some of the things? So knowledge is power. Knowledge takes away a lot of fear. So the good husband definition also, the third point I'm making now is, am I trying to be the perfect husband, or am I trying to be a good enough husband who's going to learn from his mistakes? You are going to make mistakes as a husband, because suddenly you're living with this new person, this new ego to deal with, your ego, her ego, and you're sharing the room, you're sharing your life, you're sharing so many things, and you are going to make mistakes, right? But can I, instead of being a perfect, and what is good, define what does that good mean? It doesn't mean the world. And can I be, instead of being a perfect husband, can I be a good enough husband? What is a good enough husband? I mean well, and I really want to do good things for my wife and my children and my family, and be a responsible man. And and uh, and I'm learning skills. I'm reading up about grihastha ashram. I'm reading about understanding women, understanding their nature, how we're different. Women are different, and all of that. I'm doing all of that, but I will make mistakes, and I'm going to learn from them, because I care about my role and I care about my duty. So instead of perfection, can I try to be like good enough? Can I do what I need to do? Importantly, as much as I need to do, and whatever gaps are there, I'll fill them along the way. So try to do these different things that I've mentioned to you, and I'm sure you'll find success because you're very sincere. Wish you all the best. Ram, how to deal the insecurities of others unto me about the elevation I'm getting in my career? Is it even important enough in our life, ma'am? I'm not sure what is important enough. So what I'm hearing you say is that you're growing in your career, but people around you are feeling very insecure, and they're like trying to pull you down. They're like criticizing you. Oh, this guy must have buttered up his boss, or oh, he just got it easy. He's just lucky. He didn't have to work that hard for us, and or they're just jealous, or they're pulling you down. They're criticizing you. Whatever they're doing, and whatever that is, they're not your friends. They're having a hard time right now dealing with the new you. So they may be your friends, but they're like, okay, how do we deal with Ram, who's just become ultra successful and he's not at the same level as us? They don't know how to deal with that, and they're struggling, and sometimes they take time and then they figure out and then they're fine again. That also happens, right? And there's as a spiritualist, if you're growing in your career, there is nothing wrong with that, because you're engaged in work, you're doing your duty, and when you grow, it motivates you to do your duty even better. Otherwise, if you don't grow in your career, what are you going to do? Growth in your career is aligned to your nature. Now, if you don't grow and you decide, no, I'm not going to grow, you're not going to be happy anyway. So, rather, keep your mind engaged and grow nicely, stay focused on your growth, and gradually, when you're like grown so much, they'll stop criticizing you and they'll start appreciating you. And those who can't appreciate you, who can't be your well wishers, they're not your friends. And you stay focused on yourself and focused on your spiritual goals, and do something meaningful with that career level that you have achieved, right? So, everyone is going to, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita in the third chapter, everyone is going to act helplessly according to the nature they have acquired. So, what can repression accomplish? So, you have a nature to grow and rise and, do things well. Now, if you try to repress that, it's going to come out in some negative ways in your life. So why repress it? Instead, engage it within the confine of dharma, within the boundaries of dharma, and do something meaningful with that position that you have achieved. Whether it's just being a good employee and being nice to all the people around you, or using your position to do some work related to loka sangraha, which is something meaningful for society, right? Your position is going to help you in so many ways. So don't judge yourself and keep growing. Stay connected to the blessings of your gurus, the blessings of Krishna. Be grateful to the blessings of your pitrus, your kula devatas, kula devis, and your parents, and everyone. And be grateful and continue growing with a humble heart. Wish you all the best, Ram. Next question, please. Arjita is now saying, sorry for asking, though the fear of comparison is low, but I'm not able to come out of it completely. I have my achievements as well, but I still feel it's low. That happens to a lot of people. But you will keep feeling this lowness until your achievements are connected to a higher purpose. And some purposefulness is needed. When we are not connected to a purpose, then we feel low. We feel a lot of emotions. But when we have a purpose, then it motivates us to achieve more, and we don't feel low when there are difficulties and struggles. So Arjita, what can you do? Your fear of comparison low, it is still there. You're not able to come out of it completely, but you have come out of it a long way. So whatever steps you've taken to come out of it, just continue doing that, and gradually it'll be erased from you. And if you feel your achievements are low, why? Is it is it again coming from a sense of false ego, or is it coming from, okay, I and or just challenging yourself? So you have that need, you want to grow, take care of that need, but connect your growth with a higher purpose, then you will feel satisfied. Else you will keep thinking about high and low. So think about whatever your achievements are, how can you connect it with a higher purpose? And then let's chat in some future show and tell me how you're doing. Yes, next question, please. There are a lot of questions here, and I think we'll take three more questions because we're way over time, and we all have to go. Vichakshana Dikshit, how to know what I'm good at? By trying out different things. What's the purpose of my life? How to find all this? I have done B.Ed and I'm still hopeless, though I am empathetic and understand things easily. There is this whole push on the internet for many years I've been seeing. Uh, like if you don't know your purpose, something's wrong with you. And then we start feeling the pressure that I don't know my purpose and something's wrong with me. You know what? The purpose keeps changing. Now, if you look at a journey of a person, whether it's a man or a woman, right? Like when they're growing up, their purpose is getting good education. When they're married, their purpose is raising a stable family, taking care of their elders and doing their dharmic duties and growing in their careers, right? And when they're older, it's about, taking care of their health. It's about, connecting with their higher goals. It's about that. So the purposes, the small purposes keep changing, but they all need to be dovetailed to a higher purpose. And a lot of times, this purpose discussion also makes people feel that don't do things you don't like. If you don't like it, don't do it. So you've done B.Ed, you can do tuitions. You can. It's not about that I have to always be engaged in work that's passion, purpose and exciting. And if I'm not doing that, something's wrong with me. That's what YouTube videos I've been telling you. There's nothing wrong with you. Not everyone is clear, and it takes time to get clear, and it takes time by trying different things out, right? Like if you go for a wedding buffet, which I believe now post COVID, there's a lot of weddings happening, and we're enjoying all the shadi ka khana. Uh, you go to the buffet now, you see a new dish. How would you know whether you like it or not? You would know by tasting it, right? And sometimes you don't like it the first time, but then you develop a taste for it. Like, I'm a Marwari, and we have something called as papad ki sabji. When we were kids, we were like, "What is this?" Like, what do you like? Why do you even make this? Moong dal ke pakode. I mean, come on, who does that? We have besan ke pakode, like gram flour pakode. What moong dal? What chutney? Ketchup. Ketchup is good. But then as you grow, you develop a taste for these things and you start relishing them. So sometimes we may not like the work. You're a BEd, you can do tuitions, you can teach in school, and you're not going to like the work. But we engage in work because that stabilizes us, and that stabilizes our mind, and that protects us from feeling low and feeling this and feeling that. So you're not working to, of course, you're working because you need the money or you need whatever you need, right? But you're also working to remain engaged and to keep your mind regulated. Your mind needs to be engaged in work like a meditation. And that's when you can apply the spiritual concepts. I talked about that in Smash. So if you don't know your purpose, and you have to develop a taste for things, first thing is by trying different things out. The second thing is, even if you don't have the opportunity for trying things out, just doing. Sometimes you may not like what you're doing, but just being steady in it can also make you very happy and peaceful. Keeps your mind happy. So so you got to do something about it. It's not just going to happen and manifest on its own. People whom you see, who are very clear and who are very articulate and who are doing and focused and everything, they put in a lot of hard work. It doesn't just happen for them. They put in the work. So you have to put in the work to explore yourself, understand yourself, and sometimes do things you don't like just because you need that steadiness. Yes? So try that. Wish you all the best. Next question, please. Kirtana Roy. Hi, ma'am. How to stop attracting narcissists into our life? On what insecurity should we work on? On my channel, there is a video, The 10 Reasons You Get Hooked to a Narcissist. It's a short video. You can watch that, Kirtana. My channel link is there here. It's also youtube.com/Namita Purohit. So there's a video on that. And plus, there's an entire playlist on dealing with the narcissists. And there's one video which did Parivar ke dushta toxic logo se kaise bache. It talks about your own hooks because of which you're vulnerable to a narcissist. So you can watch those. It's a very long discussion. Can't do it in a few minutes, right? So I'll just give space to two more questions then, Kirtana. Thank you for your understanding. Wish you all the best. Next question, please. Chetna Tulsani. Ma'am, why there is no happiness when we don't achieve success at early age? Few years lost. Is because you think that your happiness will come from success. But we just heard so many questions here today where people are talking about, um, I've reached success, but I still feel my achievement is low. And I could have done better because, see, there was one person I met, very interesting, right? And someone told me that, hey, she's a VP in her company. And I was like, wow, you're a VP? That's amazing. Many congratulations to you. And the person who was introducing me to her said that she really wanted to be a VP and she achieved it. So he was appreciating her. I was appreciating her. I was like, wow, I'm meeting a VP. And then she goes, when I was younger, I thought becoming a VP is a very big thing. But you know what? There are at least 200 VPs in my company. I'm in a multinational company. And so I realized that, we think something is big, and then when we get there, and then we're like, okay, already so many of them have it. I'm not unique. I'm not the best. And then that becomes normal for you, right? But the greatest pain that we cause ourselves is that we associate our entire happiness with just our success. Success gives us happiness, and we must try and do whatever we need to do to be successful. That's when Lakshmi Devi blesses you also. I've done a full show on that, how to receive Lakshmi Devi's blessings, where it's about putting in that work. Now, even if I'm not successful at an early age, there are other avenues, there are other parts of my identity. Work is one part of my identity. That's not the only thing. There are other parts of my identity also that I find happiness in, that I find connection in. And if none of them is giving me happiness, I'm finding my connection and happiness in connecting with the permanent and connecting with the Lord. So, this is something we have to cultivate. Happiness is not something that happens. We learn how to be happy. It's you. The happy people are the ones who have learned how to be happy in spite of what's happening around them. Their happiness, they have learned, they have trained themselves to be happy. It's a muscle. They have worked on that muscle, and they have learned how to be happy. So things are not going to give you happiness. This is the nature of the material world. You're a spiritual, your spirit soul, you're spiritual in nature. Nothing in this material world will ever give you happiness. It's like fish out of water. It's like oil and water don't mix. But you learn how to be happy. You train yourself to be happy. And you also connect with a higher purpose. So that's what's important. And I believe we have the last question now. and then we close with a quick summary. So 20 MMB sounds like zombie. 417. Insecure about my relationship with my parents, friends, about my career. Every morning I thought to give up and to just drop out from college, which I've already done 2 times. Please help me. I'm really sorry to hear that. It's tough. Sounds like you're undergoing a lot of mental stress, a lot of pain. And one thing is, I request all the viewers to also pray for 20 MMB so that he finds the healing, he or she finds the healing that she or he needs and feels better and finds the courage. Now, out of all these things, your relationship with your parents, about your career, and dropping out from college, think about which one is right now most important for you and start working towards that. And is it that the fear of failure is what's causing you to drop out? Or is it that I must be the best? Or is it that I must be perfect? And if I'm not, then I'm going to drop out? Or is it that you feel anxious while you're in college and you're not able to focus, you're not able to understand? Or is it that you're emotionally very disturbed because of the way the relationship with your parents is? Please listen to a lot of guided meditations online, healing meditations, healing music that will help you. Please chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as much as you can to connect with the Lord and pray to the Lord for direction. Do some breathing exercises and find supportive friends who support you, who understand you, because you need to build a supportive ecosystem around yourself. And as you do these things and calm yourself, sleep properly. I pray you're sleeping properly, eating on time. That will also help you with your mental health. And sit down and think about why is it you're unable to do function, and what can you do about it? What steps can you take? Is it that you could probably get a mentor, like a parent figure mentor who could guide you in your life? Or is it that you need coaching to get through college? Or is it that you want to make some partnerships with your seniors who could help you? Or there's a counselor in college? There are many ways to take care of yourself, even if you're in a difficult situation. And the sad part is that we got to take charge of our life, even if we're broken. But one beautiful thing happens when we start taking charge of our lives is that we actually shift our energy. We shake off all that stress, we shift our energy. And as we start taking charge of our life and we start taking those baby steps, we feel better, we feel more confident, and our ability and a lot of different things expand. So please take care of yourself and your mental health and get the help you need. And we pray that you do better, you feel better. Wish you all the very best. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with me on the show. It's a pleasure for me to be here with all of you. So, my show is going to be regular on second and fourth Wednesdays, and I'll be here to serve you. Thank you for your very wonderful questions. And we talked about how to deal with insecurities, and our formula code today was SMASH. S is develop a spiritual conception. M is become a master at your work, right? A is adult thinking. S is self-reliant, relying on yourself, working nicely, and then depending on Krishna and the self within, the Lord within also. And H is heal your fears and heal your past. And there are related shows that may help you. Even the last person's question that we took, and you could watch those videos. They're all there in the description. Make people respect you. We also have a self-love guided meditation linked over there. The person who asked the last question here, you can go through that self-love guided meditation repeatedly. It's available freely on the YouTube channel, and you can just keep hearing it many times, and it'll give you build a lot of self-confidence and help you heal a lot. And we also have related videos there that you could watch. And wish you all the best uh, in all of you, in your healing and growth journey, in overcoming your insecurities, and may you all always feel encouraged in your life. Hare Krishna.